Pixar's Elio is finally set to hit theaters after years of delays, production shifts, and major creative overhauls. With the latest trailer now released, fans are noticing that Elio looks almost entirely different from the original vision teased back in 2023. What was once marketed as a sci-fi adventure with darker, almost horror-like undertones has now transformed into a more comedic and lighthearted intergalactic coming-of-age story. The question is, how much has changed, and what does the new Elio have in store for audiences? From a complete tonal shift to redesigned sequences and even an entirely new villain, the trailer showcases a radically different Pixar film than what fans expected 2 years ago. Now directed by a trio of Pixar veterans Madeline, Sharafian, Domee, Shi, and Adrian Molina, this reworked version of Elio seems to follow the studio's signature formula of heartwarming storytelling, quirky humor, and vibrant animation. But does this new direction make the film stronger, or has it lost the unique edge that once set it apart? One of the biggest surprises in the new trailer is the transformation of Gregon, who was once positioned as a comedic alien sidekick, but has now been reimagined as Elio's primary antagonist. Originally voiced by Brad Garrett, Gregon was introduced in the 2023 trailer as a boisterous but goofy ambassador from the Communiverse who seemed to act as Elio's guide through this strange intergalactic society. In the first teaser, he cracked jokes about destroying Earth and even hinted at some darkly comedic moments. However, the latest footage flips that character dynamic on its head. Now referred to as Lord Gregon, he is depicted as a galactic conqueror, determined to build the greatest war machine in the universe. The comedic role that Gregon previously occupied has been passed down to his slug-like son Gordon, who is seen laughing at the absurdity of conquering Elio. This shift in character dynamics changes the entire emotional weight of the story. What was once a tale of a boy befriending quirky aliens now seems to be a much grander hero versus villain narrative, with Elio inadvertently finding himself at the center of an interstellar war. Another major change between the original and new trailers is Elio's abduction sequence, which has been entirely reworked. In the 2023 version, Elio was taken by surprise when his mother's experiment accidentally signaled an alien species. He was terrified, screaming, "No, thank you," as he was forcefully beamed into space. But in the 2025 version, Elio is no longer an unwilling participant in his cosmic journey. Instead, the trailer now shows him actively trying to contact extraterrestrial life. In a striking new scene, he deliberately calls out to the universe saying, "If any aliens are listening, please come and get me." This completely alters the core of Elio's character, shifting him from a reluctant hero to someone eager for adventure, though perhaps unprepared for the reality of what he's getting himself into. This change raises some intriguing questions. Is Elio's role in the Communiverse a mistake, as initially suggested? Or does the new version of the film imply that his abduction was destined all along? The revised abduction scene, paired with more upbeat, whimsical music, signals that Pixar chose to steer away from the original sci-fi horror influences, opting instead for a more traditional, fun-filled space adventure. Even though Elio's character design remains mostly intact, some subtle changes hint at the film's broader creative shifts. Compared to his initial look, Elio's updated model features softer expressions and a slightly brighter color palette, possibly reinforcing the new, more comedic direction. While these adjustments might seem minor, they indicate just how much the film's tone has evolved behind the scenes. Additionally, the entire aesthetic of the Communiverse has been reimagined. Early trailers painted it as a somewhat eerie, mysterious world filled with floating orbs and shadowy figures. Now it's a colorful, highly animated society bursting with quirky alien designs, closely resembling the vibrant landscapes seen in Inside Out or Turning Red. This could be a direct result of the new directors, all of whom have worked on Pixar's more whimsical, emotionally driven projects. Perhaps the most controversial change is the complete overhaul of the film's tone. The original trailer suggested a bold new direction for Pixar, hinting at a story that blended suspense, sci-fi, and psychological depth, a departure from their usual heartfelt narratives. However, the latest trailer erases almost all traces of this darker approach, replacing them with fast-paced humor, slapstick moments, and an emphasis on friendship. For example, the initial trailers showcased a hauntingly quiet scene of Elio floating in space, surrounded by alien lifeforms who seem to judge his every move in eerie silence. In the new footage, this scene is replaced with Elio awkwardly introducing himself to the aliens, complete with comedic miscommunication and an exaggerated reaction from the surrounding creatures. While this shift makes sense given Pixar's core audience, some fans have expressed disappointment that the film no longer appears to take any major creative risks. The sci-fi horror angle was an exciting departure from Pixar's usual style, and its absence raises concerns about whether Elio will ultimately feel too safe and formulaic. So why did Elio go through such drastic changes? The answer likely lies in the film's troubled production. Throughout the past 2 years, Pixar underwent major leadership shifts, crew changes, and even director replacements, leading to a total creative overhaul of the movie. The film's original team was replaced by a trio of Pixar veterans who seemingly reshaped the story to align more closely with the studio's brand. Additionally, Elio was delayed multiple times, first due to SAG-AFTRA strikes in 2023, and later because Disney likely wanted to distance its release from other major animated films, including Moana 2 and How to Train Your Dragon. With Inside Out 2 proving to be a massive success in 2024, Pixar may have decided to rework Elio into a more traditional, family-friendly film, ensuring it resonated with their audience. Final thoughts. What to expect? When Elio hits theaters, with its new comedic tone, redesigned characters, and a completely different antagonist, Elio has undergone one of Pixar's most significant transformations in recent memory. While the changes may make the film more accessible to general audiences, some fans will undoubtedly miss the original, more experimental vision that was teased back in 2023. The film is now set to release in theaters on June 20, 2025, with Yonas Kibreab starring as Elio, alongside America Ferrera, Brad Garrett, and Jameela Jamil in supporting roles. Whether it will live up to Pixar's legacy remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: this version of Elio is not the movie fans thought they were getting 2 years ago. Key takeaways from the trailer: Lord Grigon is now the main villain, replacing his previous comedic role. Elio now actively seeks out aliens instead of being abducted by accident. The film's horror-inspired visuals have been replaced with a more colorful comedic tone. Production delays and crew changes likely contributed to these drastic shifts. Pixar's Elio releases exclusively in theaters on June 20, 2025. Pixar's latest intergalactic adventure may not be what fans expected, but it's set to deliver a visually stunning, heartfelt, and humorous journey through the stars. Will it stand out among Pixar's greatest hits, or will it feel like just another safe addition to their catalog? We'll find out when Elio finally arrives in theaters this summer.